Gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Jon Snow, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life. Monk, really? I know he's manager. What kind of say is
Gary Monk. 5 out of 10.
I haven't finished yet. I cannot believe Gabby had Bond
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
terrible. It? Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast, episode number 12. On a different day to normal, we're recording on a Thursday, hopefully a Thursday release if Dan Rolinson can turn it round fast. I'm joined as usual by Thomas Julian, or as he shall now be known, Will from the In-Betweeners. How you doing, Will?
Seems a bit unfair, doesn't it? Will from the In-Betweeners. Who was it that came after me on Twitter?
Basically, a very enjoyable moment for me. Well, it wasn't an enjoyable start because I had to get the train back from Villa Park on Saturday, which was an absolute nightmare. The trains were rubbish, as per usual, and there was only about 3 or 4 carriages, which isn't very well thought out after a Villa game. Obviously, there's problems with the motorways around Villa at the moment. So I got on the train and I bumped into someone who I've met before, actually, in Lichfield on a night out randomly, and he came up and spoke to me about the Villa View. Nice guy, Ivo James, and I got talking to him again. Admittedly, he'd had a bit to drink, and he was like, you know who Tom Julian reminds me of? He reminds me of Will from the In-Betweeners. And I found that very, very funny.
Do you find it funny because you think it's true now and you can't get it out of your head?
I just think it's a good comparison because I never used to look at you as a geeky kind of character, but since you started doing the podcast, you have become a geek. I don't know whether that's because I'm so cool and you just took on that role of the geek. Right,
hang on. I don't like this because we were talking about this earlier. We've done this podcast now for what, 3 months, something like that?
12 weeks, Tom.
12 weeks,
yeah.
And you know, we've seemed to have created these characters where you're this cool guy that everybody wants to hang around with, and I'm just the guy that runs around at the back of you and Matt just wanting to be part of the cool kids.
That's pretty much how it has been, to be fair. To be fair, though, I'm coming off the back of just over 12 months with the Villa View, so I was more well-known to begin with.
Oh, it's not about being well-known.
No,
it's
so
about,
people know my personality and character. Maybe people don't know the real Tom Julian.
Oh, I've crafted this character as an idiot.
Yeah, you've done a great job.
I mean, I have got on a lot of wrong trains.
You were just a clown. Will from In-Betweeners is a very, very savvy match, if you ask me.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
I appreciate that. While we're kind of not strictly on Villa news, because we've got a lot to get to,
yeah.
I was doing a bit of a debrief of the podcasts with my mother. We had about a 20-minute conversation. She said that I should be mentioning her more, seeing as you, obviously in the earlier podcast, your mum got quite a lot of mentions. Because
she obviously doesn't think you're a geek.
Because she took a liking to me. It's worth going back and listening to those early ones if you're interested in that kind of thing. My mum was very complimentary of you, not in the way you look or dress,
no.
But yeah. She also said that you'd nailed the right chair. Like I think from day one, you've got this chair where you can look straight at the camera, whereas I have to kind of back.
Disagree, because if I do this, I get blocked by the mic quite a lot, and I do tend to lean in quite a lot. So I think maybe we're in the wrong place. Maybe we should switch one week.
Yeah, that would
if that works
freak
different.
people out.
We'll switch. Won't freak out people who are listening because it will make absolutely no difference to their life.
That's true. Welcome to the Villa View podcast. Should we talk some Villa?
Yeah, let's go on to Villa.
What a week it's been. It's been a busy one.
Yeah, plenty going on for the Villa View, and a lot going on for Aston Villa, obviously, with the season starting.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid the cliche of football is back that we've used about 17,000 times in the podcast, but it was nice to see football return.
Very nice.
The Championship, obviously the league, everyone wants to be in. No one cares about the Premier League starting this week, although I do plan to watch every single game from Friday through to Sunday.
Wow, big weekend planned.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also some news as well, isn't there? We'll get on to that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
start with the news.
Well, I'm just gonna carry on explaining what else we've got on the show. I was just going to say, you know, you don't take notes generally, and
I have done the last month.
And you don't tend to remember what we talked about last week. So I've got a little game for you because you laid down a bit of a gauntlet last week.
I think I know what it is. It's squad numbers game.
Oh, it is.
Maybe that wasn't last week. That was 2 weeks ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, my mum said it was last week. Are you sure?
Yeah, positive, 100%, because I was expecting it last week and it never came.
All right, well, we can go back and check that. But I've got the game, so I'll save that to the end.
Yeah, I mean, people probably don't want to listen to me trying to guess people's squad numbers.
I think they're going to like it.
I've got James Chester on the back of my shirt for anyone who is interested. 5 Chester, so obviously that's people have probably been worried about that all week.
My mum was astonished that your parents still buy your shirt for you.
Well, they haven't this year.
But didn't they give you the money up front so you could buy something else?
Yeah, different shirt that I wanted.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So they do. For all intents and purposes,
Well,
they do.
Does your mum and dad get you a birthday present?
It kind of varies in our
don't
family.
get you a birthday
Well,
present?
sometimes they do. Well, they often
got
do.
it. I mean-
But it's not a Villa shirt. Like
No.
I'm not 10.
No offence to your family, but you've got quite a weird family dynamic.
We do.
You're not allowed white football shirts. You might get a present one year, the next year you might not.
It's
There's
kind of
some
an-
funny things going on here.
Especially with my siblings, it's more of an IOU system. Kind of if one of them kind of forgets or
Yeah, siblings I get. I mean,
runs out.
my sister's notoriously bad for forgetting my
I don't
birthday.
see my parents as much as you do.
I think do they not know how to post things? I think they could still get you a present, Tom.
I feel like bringing my mother up maybe will get me in trouble rather
Yeah.
than the
Mate, you're
credit
not,
it
I'm going
deserves.
to be honest, you're not making it sound like a good parent.
A very loving family and wanted to keep her white as
Just
well.
not generous.
Very generous. Right, let's get off this. Let's talk some news. Jordan Amavi,
Yeah.
no longer a Villa player. The 23-year-old has joined Marseille. Villa never really saw the best of him, did they?
Bad luck. A lot of bad luck. Injuries have absolutely destroyed his Villa career, because when he first came on the scene for Villa, he was very good. And obviously he got that horrific injury for France under 21s, and then came back last season in the Championship, had a decent spell, and then started to struggle. And then we brought in Neil Taylor, who's a better defender, who obviously suits Bruce more. And yeah, he's not going to get past Neil Taylor, so I don't think it's fair on him to stick around to be a backup left back and a backup left winger. So obviously he's gone, and I think it's 2 million loan fee and an 8 million buyout. I think that'll probably happen. That's 10 million for him, so we've pretty much made our money back. I feel sorry for him, and I like the fact that he never disrespected the club. He could have probably quite easily gone 12 months ago, but he decided he owed Villa because of his injury, and he stayed and had a year in the Championship with us because he was very, very highly rated before he came to Villa. It's a fair play for him for never kicking off, because not many players do that. So yeah, he has my respect. I don't think he'll be necessarily missed by Villa, but I do think he needs replacing, because now we don't want to see Berker Bjarnason playing left back when Neil Taylor's out.
No, we can talk about that in a minute. But
That's not a dig at Berker Bjarnason. He's just not a left back.
he's not a left back. No, Neil Taylor, I kind of feel is the ultimate safe option really at left back. He's a good player, very good Championship player.
Premier League player, to be fair.
Amavi kind of gives you more of an up and down, doesn't he? One week he can be really, really good, or even one moment he can be up the left wing and really attack and looking good, and then he'll make a fatal mistake. Do you think that's his game's just not suited to the British way?
I don't think it's that. I think it's positionally he sometimes struggles, whereas Neil Taylor you will very rarely see get caught out of position. And as you say, Neil Taylor's not as good going forward as Amavi, but he's a lot more astute defensively. Actually, it was interesting on Saturday. Neil Taylor was taking a lot of the set pieces, so he's obviously got a good delivery. So if we can get him forward, maybe we'll see that delivery a bit more. I'd like to see him get forward a bit more than he does. But he suits Bruce. He suits what Bruce wants. And to be fair, fullbacks for me, you got to be able to defend first. It's great if you can attack, brilliant, but you need to be able to defend first.
Absolutely. Well, another player that's spent a little bit of time at fullback as well, Leandro Bacuna. Steve Bruce says that he's almost on the way out, kind of thing, to a Championship rival.
Yeah.
Reading looks like the most likely option for that.
Makes sense. Obviously, I know he plays for the country that we can't pronounce, but he's Dutch.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, and Amsterdam. Obviously, he's a Dutch legend, so he probably would want to go and play for Amsterdam. And I think the reaction towards him on Saturday, unwarranted and out of order, in my opinion. We shouldn't be booing our own players in 2017 when it's not the Joker squad that we had previously. I mean, people like Lescott, to be honest, they deserved it that season, and we were down already at that point, so it wasn't making a difference to Aston Villa's future. At this stage, if we're booing people, it's to the detriment of the team, because I think it makes the other players scared to perhaps try a risky ball.
I just think
whatnot.
Booing a player on day one of the season when it's 1-1 against Hull, who are not great shakes, let's be honest, but
I think they were better than people thought they were going to be.
I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to be the toughest team we play this season, and we should have won that game. We'll get on to that anyway. Booing at 1-1, 71 minutes gone. You know, the game's still there to be won, and we're on day one of the season, people. Some people are talking about how promotion's not an option or automatic promotion. Totally. I think we all need to take a little bit of a reality check there. And if Bacuna does leave, and it looks like he might, good for our squad numbers and good for maybe wages.
We need to get rid of people.
But it does leave a bit of a bitter taste in the mouth.
I don't think he was terrible on Saturday. He did not have a good game, but in my opinion, He was being asked to play a position that doesn't suit him. In a midfield 3, I think he can do a job in central midfield. As a deep line 2, he doesn't have the attributes to play that role. That's not his game. So you're asking him to do a job he's probably not comfortable with, as he's been asked to do a number of times at Villa, to be fair to him, because he's played everywhere except for in goal. But we don't need to ironically cheer players when they're subbed. It doesn't do anyone any good.
I thought it was an odd tactical decision to even play him at all. I mean, he's had a lot less pre-season than most of the squad, and we seem to have players that could fill that position that had played a lot more and would have made more sense.
I mean, to be fair to Bacuna, I mean, how many managers has he had now? He's had Lambert, he's had Sherwood, Guard, Eric Black, Di Matteo. Di Matteo actually didn't pick him, and then Bruce. They've all picked him, so they've all seen something. He must be a worldie in training. He must do something in training, but they've all picked him. And at the end of the day, the guy's not picking himself. I just think booing people at this stage. You say first game of the season as well. It's 45 games to go. Let's calm down. I don't think the whole result was a bad result either.
Well, let's get on to the whole result. It very much felt like a tale of two team talks, if you will. You know, we had a good first half, created a lot of chances, obviously went 1-0 up. And second half, we looked a completely different side, and so did Hull. I thought Hull came at us a lot more, and it just seemed a complete switch around, really.
Well, Hull ended the first half really well. The last 5 minutes, they had a couple of chances. They put us under a bit of pressure. Suddenly, this guy developed a long throw from nowhere, which was like no long throw I've ever seen. It was so much power behind it. It wasn't just that it was long. It was powerful, and that was causing us problems. So they ended the half well, and then they just carried that on into the second half. But we stopped doing the things that we were good at. In the first half, we stopped moving the ball around. We stopped getting numbers in support of the striker. We left ourselves too much to do, and the whole goal was deserved. I mean, but the two goals were carbon copies of each other. To be fair, draw was probably a fair result in the end. But the thing that kind of encouraged me, that's kind of gone unnoticed, was even though Hull were the better side in the second half, obviously it's finished 1-1, we had the two best chances.
I was going to say that. The end chances?
Well, Andre Green and Onamua. I can't say his name. Onoma. I need to learn to say that name.
Yeah.
It's a problem when you're talking about Villa that you can't say people's name. So we had the two best chances of that half, even though, to be honest, Hull dominated it.
Onoma and Adoma are going to play at the same time. That's going to be a commentator's
They played
nightmare.
last night.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, that's going to be a busy one for the commentators. Yeah, we did create chances. And I think that's really important to remember. Actually, it's the first game of the season. If you're doing the right things right and they're not coming off, if you carry on doing the right things, they are going to come for you at the end of the day. And we had those chances. We had a bunch of chances to say. Scott Hogan had a few chances in the first half as well. It felt to me like we were really knocking on the door for the last 20 minutes. Hull scored, and then they had their bit of pressure and possession. But I felt like we finished the game stronger than they did as well. Samba was a strange move to go up front, I thought.
Yeah, the subs confused me. I wasn't happy with the subs, and if I could criticise Bruce for one thing on Saturday, it would be subs. I mean, I can't believe that the players go in at half-time having played well and he tells them to sit back. Because 1-0 is never enough. I can't believe that happens, even though that's what it looks like happened because of the mentality change in the second half. But Hogan going off was bizarre because I thought he was having a really good game and he looked likely to score. Gabby was blowing. Yeah, he got his goal. He worked really hard down that left flank. So to move someone up front who's blowing and take Scott Hogan off, who looked fresh and fit and sharp, off, that was bizarre. And then to at the end of the game throw Samba on, a defender as a striker. I see what he's trying to do. Yeah, but it really was aimless what we were doing. Yeah, just lumping the ball up to him. Gabby was still blowing, so even if he'd won the flick on, I don't think Gabby would have got to the ball because he was knackered. It
must be so interesting being a manager in that situation with all the pressure around you. You know, Villa Park is an intimidating place to be, and you make that decision, and everyone is kind of looking around going, that doesn't quite make sense. Do you think maybe... obviously Hogan was back again on Tuesday, so it's not like he was kind of carrying a knock or anything. No. And I think you said in your video that he's very rarely played 90 minutes for
Still hasn't, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's a very good player, Scott Hogan. I really think he's a good striker, and I really think he'll score goals. But football matches don't last 60, 70 minutes. They last 90 minutes. If you give him 90 minutes, who's to say he won't pop up and score in the final 5 or something? The guy's a finisher.
Especially with his pace as well. If his defence is tired, he can be the one that really puts the pressure on there.
I really thought first half, I know he didn't score and he missed a couple of chances, but I thought he had a really good game. He ran his socks off. He's got tricky feet. He's direct. His movement's exceptional. He gets himself in good positions. For me, he's a starter.
As a top-class goalkeeper like yourself, what did you think about Sam Johnston's the goal that he conceded?
I've seen him get criticised, and I'm not really sure I'm understanding why.
I think, to me, it looked like he couldn't particularly see it very well, and he maybe saw it late. It seemed the ball seemed close to him. I think that's where the criticism comes.
At that point, though, when it's point blank, and the guy took the goal well,
Yeah.
I thought for Hull, you kind of having to guess where the ball's going to end up, and he's obviously taken a guess.
Well, it's reaction, isn't
Got
it?
it wrong,
You've
and then
got to be
tried to.
quick.
Yeah, I don't think he's to blame for that, and I blamed him for a lot of things last season. I actually thought he was another plus point. On Saturday, I thought he looked like a different goalkeeper. He just looked so much more assured. His decision making looked better. He was confident, and I think just the fact that he knows that he's going to be with Villa for the whole season, and that must be the first time in his career he's known where he's going to be playing his football for a whole season. I just think that will make the world of difference to him, and you could see in that first game he was really, really good. I thought he had a lot to do, but what he did do, he did well. That's a sign of a good keeper.
That's something I was going to come on to, actually. The whole defensive unit, I don't think, as I said before, I don't think Hull are going to be the biggest test in this championship season.
No.
The defence did what they needed to do, I think, this weekend. Again, wasn't the biggest test, but you can still see that James Chester and John Terry are forming that relationship and that leadership that will transfer right through the team.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried if we lose one of them two. So I didn't think Samba looked brilliant last night, but then that's me being guilty of writing someone off early, like criticising him early first game.
And the conditions last night.
He hasn't played a competitive game for a very long time, Samba, and the conditions. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The penalty was rash, though.
Yeah.
I just think I still think we need another centre back, but I believe Jedinak's going to cover.
Do you want to go on to
the centre back?
Go on to the Colchester game?
I was going to say something. You were talking about John Terry and Chester, and I was going to say something, but I've completely forgotten.
I was talking about the defensive strength coming up against a Hull team that kind of leading the line with Fraser Campbell.
I've remembered what I was going to say. I was going to disagree with you. You're saying about Hull being no great shakes, but they had Grzycki on the wing, who's a very, very good player, and I thought he was good in the Prem second half of last season. And Fraser Campbell and Hernandez have both scored goals in the Championship, and I didn't notice them in the game at all. They were nullified. But I guarantee they'll both hit double figures this season.
I thought Campbell got the better of Terry a couple of times, not throughout the game, but I think he definitely did a couple of bits. I just don't think there was. Again, Hull looked like us. I mean, it was a fair draw.
It was definitely a fair result.
They looked to be creating a few chances, but just didn't have the end product. And I think if they don't get that sorted, then that might stifle them as well.
If Hernandez stays, I'd wager that they will both hit double figures.
He'll presumably stay if he's not coming to Villa, won't he? I don't see a lot of people.
No, he'll be too expensive for most teams, I would have thought, and I don't think he's necessarily a Premier League player at this stage.
I don't think he's a Premier League player at all. No. Colchester, 2-1 win, horrible conditions. It looked like they were playing on an ice rink last night. It was so difficult. It felt a bit like when we played at Villa Park and we weren't allowed to wear studs or even mouldies, and you were just slipping all over the place.
I enjoyed the game. I actually really enjoyed it.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I think obviously the conditions were unforeseeable in August. A ridiculous day yesterday, absolutely ridiculous. I just enjoyed the fact that we had a few youngsters playing, and everyone that was on that pitch was trying to play for Aston Villa. They wanted to get themselves in the team because it was basically a reserve side. Yeah, pretty much. I think Chester was the only one who played. Yeah,
there were 9 changes.
Was there 9? Who was the other one?
From Hull. You've tested me there.
I think it's not 10 changes.
Oh, Hogan.
Oh, Hogan. Well done, Thomas.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a
footballing point.
Well done. Well, more of a mathematical point more than a football point. But yeah, so there was 9 changes to go and win that game. Still, I mean, you saw a slip up last year against Luton, an absolute banana skin. There was a banana skin there for sure last night. Mainly thanks to Jed Steer. I think we survived it. Talking of goalkeepers, obviously I've praised Johnston. Jed Steer was phenomenal last night. Yes,
he was. I saw Matt Lynch sent a tweet out about how pleased he was to see Jed Steer play as well, and it's really good for those two to train competitively against each other. Obviously, Johnston's the number one. He's got the keys to the castle, but having somebody push you every day in training and knowing that you can't let up, is great.
That's a good thing. Again, no disrespect to Mark Bunn, never a number one, never going to be a number one unless he drops down maybe another level. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe he could be a championship number one somewhere, but he's never going to be Villa's number one. So he's not pushing the first choice goalkeeper. Jed Steer has done it in the championship, done it for Huddersfield. I mean, maybe Mark Bunn could argue he's never had the chance to be a number one, but Johnston will be more wary of Jed Steer than he will be of Mark Bunn. And I think it's the right call from Bruce to start Jed Steer as the number 2. Obviously, it sounds like Steer wanted to go somewhere and play, and Bruce has said no. So that's good. because I think you need two good goalkeepers. That's exactly what you do need.
Yep, definitely. And if we can have a little cup run, either the League Cup or the FA Cup, then that gives Jed Steer active opportunities to play his football, you'd hope.
I mean, it won't do us any harm to play a few extra games. We've got the squad to play these games now. We showed it last night.
Yep.
There was some really good performances in there last night, and young O'Hare was absolutely brilliant. It reminded me so much of Adam Lallana. I'm not saying for 1 minute he's going to go on and be like Adam Lallana, have the career Adam Lallana's had, but the signs are there that he's a good player, he works hard, and he's creative. Some of his passing was brilliant, his movement, drops into little pockets of space. I thought he was great.
Yep, Scott Hogan as well got his first goal, which was so important for him. Could have had another quite quickly after with that header.
Yeah, should have done better.
Should have done better, but you never know. That goal might kind of breed the confidence, and maybe we'll see another creative performance from him against Cardiff.
He needs a run of games, and he needs 90 minutes. But to be honest, I'm not looking forward to Saturday. I think that'll be a really tough game.
Yeah, of course it will be. Who else stood out for you? I've got good to see Bree playing the game as well. You know, I mean, I thought he looked like he needed games. You know, he didn't look obviously as confident as Hutton going forward. You said you like your fullbacks to defend first, and he did the job mostly that he was there to do. I think he just needs a bit more confidence, time on the ball, and playing some EFL games. Yeah,
I was quite pleased to see Delat come on as well. Obviously, only got a few minutes, but he was brought in to be our number one right back originally, and obviously had a bad injury, so he's got a chance to take claim. I still think we could do with shifting. I know this won't go down well, but if Delat's going to make himself available and play the season, then we probably need to get rid of Hutton, because there's no point paying someone to be a third choice right back, and Bree's the future, so we're not going to get rid of Bree.
Yeah.
So I think we've got too many right backs.
It's difficult with Hutton, isn't it? Because he played well against Hull.
Well. Yeah, he did. He's the problem. He did play well.
You want to go, ultimately, you want to go up, don't you? So if Hutton's playing well, then and he created the chance on Saturday as well.
Yeah,
you know, he deserves his place, and it's hard to shift him.
I see what you're saying, and no disrespect to Hutton here, but whatever he does, he isn't going to get a new contract next season. Next season, Alan Hutton will not be an Aston Villa player. Delat and Bree probably will be. So you've got to look at that. And is Hutton doing anything that Delat, for example, isn't capable of? I'm not sure he is.
I think, again, like I said there, Bree needs the confidence. So does Delat. You know, that only comes with playing. You're right, I'm just playing devil's advocate with you here. Good to see Hutton playing well, but we have so many right backs. That's why. Yeah. That's obviously why Bakuna as well is looking to leave, because we just have such a dearth.
A dearth? Doesn't dearth mean we haven't got any?
No, dearth means you've got loads, doesn't it?
No, it's the opposite, mate.
Dearth?
Yeah, dearth means you don't have. It's a lack of 100%.
I'm going to look that up.
100% confident.
I'm going to look that up while you talk about my next point. I thought
you would have thought Will from the In-Betweeners would know what dearth means.
He was actually really stupid, wasn't he?
No, he was quite clever.
Well, he wasn't, but he lost it in exams and pressure situations like this. This is where he fell apart. Great crowd at the Western Homes Community Stadium. Had a big Villa contingent, and you could hear them.
Always a great following from Villa.
Yeah,
away from home.
Brilliant. It was very, very good to hear. So safely through to the second round of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous
Premier League
name.
draw. Do you want the Premier League team? Give us a chance to play against someone, a decent team.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think it's good for us. I think it's good for us actually when we play a Premier League team, because that's what happens when teams play us. You know, it's their Premier League side. I'm not trying to disrespect any sides or pump us up, but it is good to come to Villa Park, and it is an atmosphere to play there.
I fancy maybe a West Ham away.
Yeah. Check
out their new ground. Been to Upton Park a few times.
They bought some new players as well.
Yeah, maybe a West Ham away.
Like
maybe I'd like that. Near.
Need to look up Dearth. I'm not going to let this
easier
go.
for me to get to London than it is to Birmingham.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It works.
Maybe we'd have a podcast night out. Well, that's a game.
Dearth, meaning?
You're in trouble here.
A lack of something.
Yeah.
We've got the opposite of a dearth at right back.
Tell you what, I should not be having to correct you on these things.
Why?
I don't know, just shouldn't.
Yeah, I like the word dearth as well. I'm sure I've used that multiply wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure multiply is the right word either. You're having an absolute nightmare here on the podcast.
Oh no, somebody save me. Let's talk a bit about, it's been a busy week for the Villa View.
It really has. I'm never going to remember everything we've done this week.
There's, I'm surprised your wife has seen you this week. You're just always on the telly.
I'm always on the telly.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube, yeah.
Like I said, I'm not on the telly very often.
Talk to us about some of the things that are coming up at Villa View. Coming up and have been.
No, I'd rather talk about what's been. Because I don't know what's coming up, to be fair. What did we do? last week? Oh, obviously the big one was going to see Keith Wyness and sit down with him and interview him for the Villa View. So if you haven't checked that out on our channel, please do, because it's a really, really good watch. We learned some interesting things. Got a couple of exclusives there. Things like Dr. Tony's not bought this club for 5-6 years. He's bought it for life. So I won't spoil the interview too much, but watch that because it's good. You, as a neutral, you say it was good.
I would say it was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's so interesting to see somebody like Keith Wyness with such a senior position at Villa talking directly to fans.
Top bloke.
Yeah, a really nice guy.
Proper football bloke as well. I tell he loves football.
He loves
That's what I got from him.
Absolutely. And very, very, a very good interview and lots of again, I don't want to spoil it too much because I enjoyed it. But
it's good to be back at Villa Park.
But yeah, you guys are always there. And Matt did his questions as well.
Right, we're not finished with the Keith story
yet.
Because we met Dr. Toner well. We met Dr. Toner.
You are. I've seen Dan's Instagram pictures and his Facebook pictures. It starts with obviously you and Matt and Dr. Tony, and then Matt's kind of half ahead, isn't it? You're just edging him out slowly.
What I liked about that was that for some reason I ended up in the middle. So it looked like they were having their photo taken with me, with their hero.
Well, with their verified hero.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it.
Too big time.
Just great to meet Dr. Tony finally, because obviously he's communicated a lot with us.
Yep.
On social media. We did have a bit of an awkward hug. It was a bit awkward.
Oh no!
I don't know. I think we both wanted to go in for the hug and then didn't think the other one did, and it was a bit of a mess. But it was great to meet him. You could just tell he's a really down to earth, knowledgeable guy.
And while you were at Villa Park, I should say, you filmed a bunch of videos. Your predictions have come in.
Yeah, some probably bad shouts there.
Go on, give us a...
They always look bad, though, when the first week. You predict someone to go up and then they lose the first game. Like, it makes you look silly, but it doesn't mean anything at this stage.
Going back to the first sentence of the podcast, the first week is important, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Go on, give us an outlandish prediction that you or Matt went for.
I said that John Terry would win the Championship Player of the Year. Across the whole Championship.
Yeah, I don't find that particularly surprising. Do defenders usually win it? Is it usually a striker?
That's what Matt was saying. I just think the Championship will be built around him this season. Like, he's very marketable, so I think he's like one of the stories of the season. So if we do well, which I hope we do, and don't concede many goals, which I think is a cert, then he'll have played a big part. I
meant to look up before we started this podcast what the record was for lowest number of goals conceded.
Couldn't tell you.
In a Championship season. If you do know, let me know to stop me looking it up. That'd be great. But I think Villa be competing for one of the lowest, not the lowest ever, but certainly in the Championship. You'd hope so.
Don't know what it is, do you?
Yeah, wouldn't know. That's true.
I'm trying to think what else we did when we were at Villa Park. We did a couple of things, didn't we? Competition. Big competition, and I'm not in charge of sending the stuff out, so you'll get the prize.
Have you still sent the socks?
No, I've spoken to one of the winners though. He knows he can rely on me.
Well, he obviously
Matt
can't.
Stokes knows those socks are incoming.
Right, okay.
He knows they'll come.
Yeah. So what else? What is the competition? Tell us more about the competition.
The competition is to win the 2017-18 Aston Villa shirt of your choosing. So if you want the home shirt, you can have the home shirt. If you wanted the goalkeeper shirt for whatever reason, you could have that. The away shirt. You can have any name and number.
Oh, good.
Put on the back. So any size, obviously, as well. So we've running that competition on the channel at the moment. So we did a video, and all you have to do to win a Villa shirt is be a subscriber and comment with the reason why you should have the shirt.
Do you know how many comments you've got?
A lot.
Have you?
Yeah, let me tell you, we don't usually get nearly 500 comments on videos, but it's not far off.
And when does the competition end? Do you have an end date?
I imagine it would be a week, so I would imagine Monday.
Yeah.
When a week after the video went out.
Big Dan Rolinson can confirm that because we
found out something new as well. His name isn't actually Rolinson.
What?
It's Rolinson, and he's never corrected us.
Oh no!
So he doesn't like being called Rollo and Rolinson. So I'm going to continue to do that.
Oh right. What does he like to be called?
Rollo.
Oh, Rollo.
Or Rolinson. He's trying to be posh. Let's face it.
Changed
it's like
now.
I can't remember what that programme's called with Mrs. Bouquet. He's trying to be like that, isn't it? Where her name's actually Bucket, and she calls herself Bouquet.
Mrs. Bouquet?
Oh, God, you're too young. I can't think what the programme's called.
Mrs. Bucket? Do you mean Charlie Bucket off Charlie and Chocolate Factory?
No, you've gone well off base there. I can't remember what it's called. Really posh woman who thinks she's really posh. Got a husband called Richard. I think it might be called Keeping Up Appearances.
Okay.
You must have heard of that.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I've heard of.
Oh, Jesus.
This is turning into the Matt Lynch podcast.
Does not surprise me with you.
Should we do some comments before we get on to the game?
The game? Oh, our game?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't realise half an hour. I only swore then as well. Half an hour's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gone fast. That's gone fast.
It easily does, doesn't it, Dan? Because we have so much fun together.
Well, I think you're having more fun than I am.
Are you having fun?
I'm joking.
Ah.
I'm joking.
Do you think? What do you think of my style today? You know, I've ditched the shirt for once.
I think you've used the word style very ambitiously.
Do you not?
Just bog standard clothing, is it not?
You don't like it?
It's all right.
All right.
I can tell what you've done though. You've got a t-shirt on there with a hint of claret on, and you've put that on today and thought.
I really haven't actually. We've
A touch of Villa in this shirt. I'm going to wear it for the podcast.
We're moving at the weekend, and this is
got
one
no
of the
clothes?
only t-shirt I've got.
Got no clothes?
Pretty much all my tops have kind of claret in. I quite like that colour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting clothing fact. Well, yeah, so I've got a few comments from the last podcast 11 for those keeping count. So Jack Hurley, excited for the season, must get off to a good start and show that we are Aston Villa, not some flip-flop team that aims for mediocrity. For future reference, not to take the mick because it is actually a hard country to pronounce, it's Curacao.
Curacao. You still got it wrong, and he sounded it out for
Well,
you.
it's not clear, is it?
Curacao. I think that's
okay.
pretty clear.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you, Jack. We'll remember that for next time.
Sorry, Jack, I got it wrong again.
Although Bakuna is off, so
Yeah,
maybe
we won't need to worry about
Yeah.
it, hopefully soon. That'd be good. Sammy Khan, don't think you guys mentioned Marlon Harewood. Mistake on my behalf. So hello to Marlon, who I'm sure listens to the Villa View podcast.
He liked the comment.
Yeah, he did like a comment. He must be aware of the Villa View podcast.
He
maybe.
must get quite a few tweets.
I mean, if we could get him on, what a dream. I'm not sure he'd fit in the studio because he's a big bloke.
A guy I used to work with got a LinkedIn request from Marlon Harewood.
Yeah, maybe get that angle explored. I'm sure the fans would love to see Marlon Harewood in the chair.
Yeah.
Instead of you.
Oh, wow. Maybe when you're on holiday.
Yeah, it's quite a long one, this one from David Redford, some Grealish stats. So basically saying without Grealish and Codger, on last season's stats, we lost 70% of our attacking power against Hull.
Wow.
So that's a decent fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done well there.
I don't know where he got that from, but...
Worth mentioning at this stage, we didn't get a lot of comments on the podcast last week, but we have had almost 400 new subscribers since the podcast.
That's
the
good.
last podcast, that's massive. So yeah, we've hit 8k now. And also had 1 million views on the Villa View.
Amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, brilliant. What a milestone. Well
Really
done to everybody
It's not
involved.
bad, to be fair. I've been here for a year, so 18 months of the channel. It's not bad, is it?
No, and I mean, as Dan Rolinson pointed out on,
Good pronunciation.
thank you, on Twitter, you know, it's massively picked up since I joined the team. So
Did he say that?
yeah, something along those lines.
Maybe. No,
No,
it can't be.
Not having
Can't-
it.
I'm surprised we haven't lost them.
all right. Ben Redding thought the cheering when Bakuna got subbed wasn't totally ironic. Think it was cheering for Green coming on as well.
Worth mentioning, this is comments to the post-match reaction video.
Absolutely.
I did in my backwards hat. Got a lot of stick for the backwards hat.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, it builds into your kind of 10-year-old theme. That's an interesting point. Good to see Andre Green. Obviously, you were there. I guess you could tell more.
Should have scored.
No, sorry about the booing. Could you or the cheering? Can you can tell kind of when it's ironic.
There was
sometimes.
ironic cheers, as in thank God Bakuna's coming off, and then there was genuine cheers for Andre Green.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't be doing stuff like that this season. But the thing is, Bakuna will go, and there'll be another scapegoat. I don't know who it'll be, but there'll become another scapegoat. That's the way it works. There's been countless scapegoats over the years, and we need to cut that out. I don't mind people not liking players, but during the game, none of this booing and ironic cheering. It's not good enough.
Mark Hendy says, great point about supporting any player that wears our famous shirt.
Mark Hendy knows. He understands.
Villa Park needs to be an intimidating place for the opposition, not for our own team. I couldn't agree more. I can't imagine anyone would disagree with that.
No.
Jack Willis, been taking my time thinking of my views and sleeping on them. The first half, in my opinion, was quite possibly the best I've seen us play under Bruce, right up until the 40th minute, which is what you said.
Yeah.
At which point the squad went into turtle mode and hid in its shell until the 80th minute when we conceded and realised what we'd done. Same story, different day.
It was up there with the Brighton second half performance last season, to be fair, as the best I've seen us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good performance. Maybe I don't think it quite reached those peaks, but the telling thing is we didn't score more than one goal in either of those really good performances, so we need to get some goals.
And Tidge agrees with you about Lansbury playing more deep lying. I think we need to play Hurahan more advanced. His assist tally last season, we can't ignore that.
I've got a horrible feeling that Horahan's going to go
Really?
at the end of August. Yeah. He's not playing, is he?
No.
He could fall further down the pecking order because, again, I can't say his name, Josh Onuma. Oh, Jesus. I need to know. Onuma. It's not even that hard to say.
No.
Josh Onomer played well in midfield, in central mid, to be fair. He reminded me a bit of Delph.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few people say that on social media, reminded them a bit of Delph.
Certainly bright, yeah. Moving on to the next comments. These are about the fan cams. And I know.
Great to have fan cams back. I love fan cams.
Do you know what I thought earlier? I was watching it earlier again, and it's a bit like when you just see old friends again, isn't it? There's certain faces that you always see, and you haven't seen them for the summer, like it's going back to school, and then you see them again, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and they haven't changed a bit.
It was so funny. This comment from Patrick McNamee, I wrote this down in my own notes as well. One of the lads.
Oh, what was he thinking?
If you offered me promotion now, I'd take it.
Ginger Luke.
Yeah, I think
nightmare. It's worth mentioning he was absolutely steamered,
that was very funny.
despite denying the fact that he was steamered. And there was rumours of him having been kicked out and not even seen the game, which he fiercely denies.
Fiercely denied. Fair enough. That was
the worst. That was one of the funniest things in fan cams I've heard.
I thought you should have called him out more.
I did.
It was only very briefly.
I just went, well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'd all take promotion, wouldn't we?
Yeah, fair enough. I thought
I'm not going to lambast him.
Wow.
I just have, but I'm not going to do it on fan cams. I'm not going to do it to his face.
You do it to me, to my face.
That's true.
I thought the young kids that you interviewed were good fun as well. They were obviously very enthusiastic to be at the Villa. And again, it's that kind of family atmosphere that we're looking for, not so much the booing.
Love little Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Him and his dad, Richard. The face. Richard Griffiths, the face of the thumbnail
Wow.
for fan cams. Yeah, Tom. No offence to any of the adults that we speak to, but Tom speaks probably more sense than most, to be fair. He's very, very knowledgeable for a lad so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was that knowledgeable
I like his enthusiasm. I could sit here and do a better podcast with Tom than you, for sure.
You know, I thought you were going to say that on the fan cam. I thought you were going to make
time.
reference to the Tom
Maybe next
interchange.
time. Oh, yeah, got the same name, obviously, as well.
Star Killer, AVFC, I thought it was Stat Killer for a second.
Yeah.
Some Villa fans who call for Bruce's sack after conceding one goal because one man wasn't picked up. And then a load of...
A face palm, I believe that emoji is.
Okay, yeah, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've got to give him... If we don't get... I mean, I'm worried about Saturday, to be honest. I think that's one of the toughest games we'll have this season, Cardiff away.
Yeah, we've also got Norwich coming up fairly soon as well, which is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy start. Reading away as well. They were up there last season. No game's easy.
It's
It's
not
the
an
crux of
easy
the
league.
situation.
Yeah.
We'll win games that you don't expect us to win, and we'll lose ones that you expect us to win. That's just the way the Championship is.
I would have expected a win on Saturday. We didn't get a win, but there were the right moments. I think that's what you've got to look at. You've got to look at the chances that we created, and I'm hoping they'll come.
If we were there not creating anything again like we were last season, I'd have said, same old story. But we didn't create chances like that on very many occasions last season, so there's reasons to be cheerful.
That thread there on the fan cams then goes into Bruce in, Bruce out. A lot of kind of chat about that.
Yeah.
What's this one?
We've probably covered the Keith Wine stuff.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything of mega note there. Mainly praise for the channel for doing it, which is great to hear.
Yeah.
Really, obviously enjoy getting praise. Obviously, it's nice to get praise rather than criticisms. I get both.
Oh, I get just criticism from you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The prediction video seemed to go down pretty well.
A few other people left predictions in the comments. So 13 of those placed Villa in the top 2. 6 of those placed Villa 3rd to 6, like Matt Lynch, and 1 left Villa out of their top 6. And apologise for it. No need to apologise.
This off.
Yeah, no need to apologise.
Yeah,
We like
Villa
different
at
opinions.
10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough league. There's going to be a lot of competition. You're going to have to pick up the wins where you can. It's not an easy, as Hull proved, nobody's going to roll over and let you take the 3 points. So we're going to have to start commanding them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you let a few drift away, then 10th is... You know, you always see the difference between kind of 16th and 9th is not many points at all.
No.
So 10th is not unrealistic.
Let's do some Twitter questions. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because we're running out of time a little bit. Trying to find it. I'm struggling.
Dear.
Struggling to get on my own profile page here. There we go. I liked the ones that we should answer. First one. Samuel Cole has pointed out a Matt Lynch tweet from earlier on in the day saying, just managed to spray aftershave in my eye. Great start to the day, Matt. Shockingly, that got 21 likes. I mean, I'm not sure that's the most entertaining tweets I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say about that, really. I think I liked it.
Would not surprise me one bit, Thomas. Jordan Spencer, do you think Jed Steele will be happy to play second fiddle at Villa all season? We kind of covered that earlier, didn't we? You think this must be your friend here, David Tolbot?
Yeah. Talbot.
I don't know why I said that in such a strange way. Why would he break my heart and leave me for Croydon? I mean, why anyone would want to live in Croydon is questionable.
Next best, next area of
Is it
regeneration in
upcoming,
London.
upcoming area?
It's cool as well.
Also, is he sad he's lost so much muscle mass recently?
Yeah, I've kind of been out of the gym and off the running.
I mean, you've had a bit of stick from the wife, haven't you?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you want me bringing this up.
Hashtag love handles has become a thing.
There's no way she'll have listened this far in.
No.
So yeah, she's been criticising Tom's physique, which I think is a bit harsh. I think you're in all right condition.
I'm okay. I don't like you can't.
You're not
really
as muscular as you used to be.
I'm not, but once we move house, that's
when it changes.
That's really
Is there a gym in your complex?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I said that tongue in cheek, thinking there was no way he's moving to a residence with a gym in the complex.
Yeah, it's in
Fair
the building
play.
next door. Yeah.
He's getting paid too much for doing this Villa View podcast. He's obviously getting more than me and Lynch are getting.
That's definitely right.
Aston Radford, friend of the channel, friend of mine, asked about Jed Steer as well. So sorry, Aston, we've already covered that. That's the only ones I liked. So
You don't like very much.
I thought I'd liked more than that.
Can I get onto my game?
Yeah.
So,
no.
A couple of weeks ago, apparently you already got me on dirt, so you're probably right on this
I
as
need to
well.
sit back and relax for this game, I think.
Dan challenged me to. What did you say? You said that you'd know in the Premier League era. I think
I said from '94 onwards.
Okay, that's good. I've got that.
Yeah.
That he could name any. If I gave him the squad number, he'd be able to name the player that wore that.
I might not
squad
get
number.
100% here, but I think I'll have a good go.
I've got 5 for you.
Go on then.
All right. So the year is 1995.
This 95, 96.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Brian Little was in charge. We finished 4th.
Right.
Yeah. Good start.
The number is 26.
26. So I know he was 26 the season after. The season after was Sasha Sercic. Is that who you've got down? Or is it someone else?
Somebody else.
26. Julian Joachim.
Julian Joachim. I'm going to give you that. That's your one because you kind of said Sasha.
No, I said the season after I was clear.
But then you asked me if it was him.
No, I didn't. I said
for the season before.
I thought you just got it wrong.
No.
I was questioning you.
All right, thank you. All right, 1 out of 1.
Yeah.
1998.
Yeah.
Number 31.
98.
Play along at home.
I want to say J. Lloyd Samuel.
And you'd be right.
Yes, come
very,
on.
Very good. 2001. Number 2.
Delaney.
Mark Delaney is right. 3 out of 3, and you're feeling
I am
good.
on fire here.
2004. Number 17.
Is it Peter Whittingham?
It is.
Yes, come on. This is unbelievable squad number knowledge.
This is really good. And for oh no, I've written it wrong. 2010.
Yeah.
Number 23.
I've got to have a think about this because I don't want to get this wrong now. I've come so far. 2010, so that was when Julio took over.
If we could have some like drum roll or a countdown music in the back, that'd be lovely.
I think you stumped me here.
For the grand
I
prize.
think you've definitely stumped me. 23. I mean, obviously I can't spend too long on this because it's really boring.
I haven't given you any clue, so I will give you a kind of clue if you want it.
No, I don't want it yet, but I know I'm wary that I don't want to take too long. 23. I think you've stumped. Oh no, I've got it. Habib Bey.
Habib Bey is correct. Well done, Dan.
So I told you I could do it.
5 out of 5.
I told you I could do it.
Very, very well done. I am seriously impressed with that. Of all the things you've achieved.
As I've said, it's a terrible thing to have knowledge on because it's of no use whatsoever.
Very
I've
well
always
done.
been obsessed by squad numbers. Weirder.
Yeah.
Big weirder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. 45 minutes is done. We've kind of covered everything there in a
Went
roundabout
fast,
way.
that flew by.
Yeah.
Nice to do it a bit earlier as well.
And that's a dig at me, isn't it?
Did you get the right train?
Yeah,
Absolute.
Although I was so close,
Astounding.
I was so close to getting off the train a stop early because where I used to live, and I jumped off, and then was like, oh, no, I had to jump off as the doors were beeping.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. You got here. You got here in good time.
Thanks very much.
So that's it for the Villa View podcast number 12. If you have enjoyed this, then please leave us a review on iTunes, and if you're watching on YouTube, give the video a like, and if you're not a subscriber to the Villa View in general, then obviously now is a good time to do it because you can win yourself a Villa shirt if you say some nice things about us. I think that's pretty much covers it, doesn't it?
Post notifications on, as always.
On all that jazz. Thank you very much for sticking with the channel. The support that we've been getting recently has been brilliant, and it has been noted, and we're all chuffed to pieces with it. We're going to let I'm going to let you get on with your night, Tom. Let you get on with moving.
Thank you.
Good luck for the move. Is it this week?
It's this week,
This week, the big move. So good luck to Thomas with his gym complex.
Thank
Get
you.
himself back in shape.
That's it.
This has been a Villa View podcast. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.